Oh boy, I've got the microphone out. I guess it's a real video, huh? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your favorite mask collector's favorite mask collector, AJ Good, here at the House of Masks. And right off the bat, you can probably tell that we are not in the sanctuary. This is not where we normally film at the new House of Masks. And that's because this is a slightly different video than what we normally put out. Today's video is going to be a Q&A because I haven't really done one for a while. I definitely haven't done one since we've been in the church, and who knows how long it was before we did the move that we've done a Q&A video. So I went ahead and posted for my patrons and let them choose the questions for this video. So these are patron-only questions, which I guess just goes to show you that it pays to be a patron. So I've got my handy-dandy phone here. I've got the questions saved, and I am ready to rip. So question number one, right off the bat, this comes from Morgan Bell. The question is, what is your favorite sub-collection at the minute, and are you looking to start any new ones? And that is a good question to rip right off the beginning because I am in front of my favorite sub-collection right now. We are in front of my Jeff Gordon collection, which is just a little subsection of my 90s nostalgia wall. I am definitely bit with the Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon bug as of late. And I'll be honest, collecting this stuff again has really kind of changed the trajectory of the channel, which I'm sure that we'll have a question later on that will kind of tell you guys a little bit more about what I mean by saying that. I feel like I'm already messing this up by just not being able to put words together. But collecting the Jeff Gordon stuff again has been really fun. I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan as a child, and then my love for NASCAR just kind of died off as NASCAR got less and less cool. I feel like, Dale's death was pretty much like the turning point for NASCAR, and everything was slowly but surely declining after that. And then it took a huge nosedive around the time that I was like a teenager and stuff. But the nostalgia has been real, man. The bug bit me. And I have been going to all sorts of flea markets and thrift stores and antique shops and stuff of that nature, hunting for these Jeff Gordon pieces, and it's been really fun. So yeah, this is just a little subsection of my 90s nostalgia shelves. We also have a WWF Attitude Era section that has full-on Kane sections, Stone Cold section. We've got Goosebumps down further from that. We've got a Tech Deck section, a Pokemon section, various monster truck sections like Bigfoot and Grave Digger. So I will be shooting a video on all of these shelves. I'll do one video on every single shelf individually, so each little section will get its own video, and then I want to do a full-on 90s nostalgia shelf video. But yeah, just to answer your question, the Jeff Gordon sub-collection section erection is my favorite at the moment. I'm really having a lot of fun with the Jeff Gordon stuff. So thank you, Morgan, for your question. Next, we have a question from Caleb Ahrens. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Caleb, if you were to ever be a member of GWAR, what would your scumdog character name be, you influencer? Well, I guess I am kind of a GWAR character, as made by Sleazy. He kind of put me into the GWAR lore with the influencer thing, and it could go two ways. If I were to follow the influencer lore and go down the path that Sleazy set me on, I would be Skeezy G Martini. I would be Sleazy P Martini's illegitimate bastard son that survived, because I'm sure he had all of them whacked, if you know what I mean. But I survived, and I followed my dad's grimy, hustling footsteps, and I ended up buying GWAR. I'm the ultimate collector, and I end up buying GWAR for my collection. So I guess I would be a GWAR villain, a GWAR enemy. If it wasn't the influencer lore, I would be some sort of scumdog brethren, and my name would be Optimo Sobriasis. And I don't know when or why I came up with that name, but it's definitely derived from the fact that I would be the straight edge scumdog, because I am straight edge in real life. I don't partake in drugs or alcohol. I actually hate them. And Optimo Sobriasis just seems like I am just the optimal sober guy or whatever. as lame as that might sound. But yeah, that is what it is. I know exactly what I would look like, and maybe one day I will get Lonnie to make my Scumdog character into a reality. Ooh. Next question from Cody Wright. What's the coolest thing you've got to experience or be a part of, something that you would have never believed if you could tell your younger self? Well, there's way, way too much of that to list. I mean, the last 4 years have just been insane. I mean, everything from the first meet and greet, all the Palefests, the little moments that accompany the Palefest and took place during Palefest, traveling all over the country. I mean, my first flight, which I never even thought that I would fly anywhere, was to Seattle. It's like almost the longest flight within the states that you could possibly do, and it was in the middle of the night by myself, and I mean, wow, what an eye-opening journey. And then that just opened the door for even more stuff. Since then, I've flown probably more times than most people fly in their life, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, I've gone all over the country with some of my best friends doing work for our heroes. I've spent a week in Texas with Greg from Mudvayne. I've gone to California and Vegas to be a part of some very cool Slipknot shows. So to try to narrow it down to just one moment or one memory, I just don't think that's possible, you know? And I'm forgetting things like Sid's visit to the House of Masks, or just the first time I even interviewed Corey, which was coming up on like 7 years ago now, 6 or 7 years. So there's a lot. I'm very, very thankful, very grateful. And yeah, I'm younger me is proud of current me. I think that probably sums that up pretty well. So thank you, Cody. Next up, Daphne. Shout out Daphne. She is a very supportive individual and a cool part of the House of Masks team. So she says, how are you doing mental health-wise, especially after the stressful situation that was switching buildings and dealing with those people? Well, you know, to be completely honest, 100% transparent, I am very down on my luck, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm cursed, so maybe it worked. Maybe it worked, you guys. And I'd really like to get back on top of my luck. If I were to tell you guys everything that has gone wrong in like the last 2 months, you would either think that I was making it up or that I'm just the biggest in the world. But dude, I swear it's like every day, from the smallest possible thing, like dropping my toothbrush on the ground, right up to big like somebody just randomly on the highway hitting my Crown Vic, which I love that car, and I have like these weird autistic attachments to my items. So to have finally gotten a car that I dreamed of owning since I was a teenager, and then somebody just smashes into it, to my DRZ blowing up and now the motor needs rebuilt, to some other stuff that I probably shouldn't tell you just because I don't want to jinx myself or make somebody else look bad. But big things, man, from the smallest things to the biggest things. Everything that could go wrong does go wrong, and it's really getting to me. I would really like for that to be over. So mental health-wise, yeah, not doing too great, but what can you do, you know? Am I going to... I mean, there's only one way to go, and that's forward. So I'm just trying to push through it. And I won't lie, you guys have been extremely supportive lately, so I really appreciate all of that. I mean, everything from just the interactions that I have with you guys on a daily basis through social media, seeing you guys at shows, everybody coming up and showing love, right down to the obvious like financial support of Patreon or channel memberships or what have you. I really appreciate that. You guys are helping me more than you could ever imagine. And that's silly because it's $5 a month to you guys, but it's a big difference for me and the House of Masks. So I definitely appreciate that. Hopefully we are on the upswing from this point on. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself even worse. Thank you for your question, Daphne. Now we are on to a question from Jaden. What do you think the next logical evolution for the channel is? Once the church is done, what's the next big step? The church is probably going to still be the main focus for quite a while. I would say at least until the end of the year. We are going to be slaving away with the church. I still need to get the studio side finished. I need to get the horror room finished. I'm really looking forward to the horror room. We are always working on the sanctuary. Dino's is like right in the middle of start to finish right now, so it's cool to see that come to. The haunted house is very early stages of the haunted house. But then there's other stuff that's like not so fun, like redoing the entire bathroom to take it from what was a men's and women's almost like business setup here at the church into one big, fully functional bathroom that people can shower in, and I can put a washer and dryer in there and whatever. And then like on top of that, there's all the stuff that I don't film because it isn't fun at all, and that's like, we found a leak today. Like, that's cool. Can't wait to have that fixed. Or why is the toilet not flushing right now? Or is that a wet spot on the ceiling? Guess we got to get up on the roof. Like, stuff like that nobody wants to see. But, dude, it is draining. Never in my life did I imagine that home ownership or property ownership or whatever would be this insane. But it definitely is. And as prepared as I thought I was and as comfortable as I thought I was not. So, again, all of your guys' financial contributions definitely help. Thank you. What is the next step after the church, though? I really want to focus on, literally from this point that you guys are watching this video, now that the Sid gas mask stuff is out of the way, I really, really, really want to focus on kind of transitioning and converting the channel back into what we had in the heyday of YouTube when things were really, really popping off. I want to say 2015, 2016. And I want to get away from just being the Slipknot channel, which, don't get me wrong, Slipknot is responsible for most of this. And also members of Slipknot have really come through with the channel the last couple of years, like Jay and Sid. Working with the House of Masks so closely and so often has definitely been a blessing, and I'm eternally grateful, and Slipknot will always, always, always be a big part of the channel, but I feel like I have devoted so much time and attention to that I've kind of drifted away from the general identity of the channel from back then. Like, we did everything mask related. We were the mask channel, so if it was Jason and Myers and Leatherface news, if it was getting those slasher type masks and reviewing them, if it was working with independent artists on custom pieces, if it was vintage masks, if it was video game stuff, Silent Hill stuff, stuff like that. We did everything, man. We did conversion videos. We did like cheap mask rehaul videos. We did Halloween huntings, and the Halloween huntings were so good back then. I would really, really love to get back to that type of content regularly. That way it's not, oh, it's Halloween hunting season. I want to Halloween hunt all the time. I want to be the American Pickers of Halloween stuff. I want to just start getting in a van and traveling a 3-state area for the weekend and knocking out every antique shop and flea market that I can find. I'd really like to, I'm describing hunting videos right now because we're about to be in Halloween hunting season, and I've also been watching Froggy Flips like crazy, who I'm sure that a lot of you guys already know and watch regularly, and I've just been so inspired by his videos because they're so simple and so well done. I could watch them for hours and hours, even if nothing's happening, even if I'm not at all interested in the stuff that he is finding. They are just so good. And I kind of did a test run on my patrons with the Gordon stuff, because when I was hunting Gordon stuff, I was uploading those hunt videos not only to practice how I wanted the videos to be in the future for Halloween hunting, but also just to get feedback and see if everybody was vibing with them, and they really were, and I'm super proud of those videos. Those Gordon hunting videos that are channel member and patron exclusives are some of my favorite videos that I've done probably ever. They're just really good. So if you guys aren't patrons or channel members, I would go sign up and watch those, and then I would get ready for a full season of Halloween hunting. We are going to just attack the market and do as much Halloween hunting as possible, and I'd really like to make the shift into a more original House of Masks vibe as far as the content goes. So that's really where I want to go with it. Wow, I feel like I just absolutely obliterated that question. But yeah, dude, thank you, Jaden. On to Blake Billman. Was there ever a point in time you almost gave up YouTube? If so, what motivated you to keep going and achieve your goals? I think there was a time when I actually did quit YouTube or at least I quit mask-related content for a minute. When was that? Late 2017, maybe it was the summer of 2018. Somewhere in 2018, I was just all about motorcycles, and I'll be honest, it's because I went through a horrible breakup, and then because of said breakup, I lost my Instagram, and that really sucked because I kind of took Instagram more serious than I took YouTube back then, and I was almost at 50,000 followers, which was like insane to me. And around the same time, I also had all of the money from my House of Masks account drained. So I was just sad, man, like keep kicking me in the nuts, I guess. And my outlet, my vice, my crutch through that was riding motorcycles. I had just gotten the Grom and I was really progressing with stunting. So I was learning all of these crazy stunts and maneuvers, and I was riding all day, every day. I was riding from sunup to sundown, way past sundown. And I remember like even into the winter, it would be like 24 degrees out, and I would still go out riding at like 2 a.m. So I did some moto vlogs. I was having a lot of fun with the moto vlogs. We had like a little crew, and the videos were very entertaining. But man, I was not going to work. I was not doing YouTube. I was not making any money at all. And aside from riding, I was just pretty freaking miserable. So I think that vacation into a reality check was definitely necessary to remind me like why I'm on Earth, which I do believe is the House of Masks. And just slowly got back into it. I know that hype was building for Halloween 2018, which kind of captivated me and caught my interest in the horror genre. So we started knocking out videos like that. And everything just fell into line the way that it was supposed to. I've never not been motivated to do House of Masks stuff. That was just a really rough time for me as far as like, okay, dude, another hit. And I just wasn't in the best space mentally. Hey, get out of here. So yeah, I'm always motivated because this is what I love, dude. Like, I just love masks. I love collecting. I love making videos and documenting. It's funny because whenever people start to kind of find out about my job and stuff, I'm like, fuck, I hate filming. And I hate filming. I hate talking. I hate being on camera, but everything else is great. I love editing. I love interacting with you guys on the internet. I love meeting you guys in real life. I love the events we do. I love the satisfaction that I get from completing a project. I love looking at my collections. I love my collections. And dude, I just love it. And even when I am kind of taking it for granted and feeling down about my luck, I realize that like I worked at B-Dubs once and that sucked. Being a line cook for a year and a half, however long I was there, like I never want to go back to that, dude. I get to literally do multiple passions at once. I get to utilize my passion for documentation, for creating, for filming, for editing, and I get to document the things that I am passionate about and share it with a bunch of people that are also passionate about it and that now have become passionate about my passion for my passions. It's just a crazy cool job that I never ever, it shouldn't even exist. Like the internet's a weird place, and I feel very, very lucky, even though I've worked extremely hard and I do every single day. There was an alternate reality where this just didn't work out because of one little thing that changed, you know? So I definitely want to keep this around as long as I possibly can, and the motivation is the motivation, I guess. So hopefully that answered the question. I feel like I'm just going on these tangents that aren't making sense, and everybody out there is just like groaning and rolling their eyes, but I'm just trying to give the most transparent, in-depth, and honest answers that I can. So thank you, Blake. Next, we have one from Elizabeth Paradise, a.k.a. Lizard the Maggot. Is there anything you can tell us about Palefest this year? Is it even happening? And how much Palefest has grown over the last few years? Do you fear that it will eventually outgrow Chillicothe even though you're dead set on keeping it there? So, a couple layers to this question. What can I tell you about Palefest this year? Is it even happening? No. Officially, on the record, Palefest is not happening in 2026 because we are just overwhelmed with a bunch of other stuff, dude. We want the year off. We had our first like legitimately profitable year last year, and that felt pretty good after slaving away for the 3 years prior. And we just want the year off. Like, the move had to happen. The church had to happen. That is taking all of my time, energy, and definitely all of my money. The last thing that I need to do is sink tens of thousands of dollars into the festival. Bishop has some health stuff going on. I don't know if you guys have seen all the weight that he's lost, but it's crazy. He looks like a completely different person now. And I do believe that they are wanting to have another baby. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did. So I think they're focusing on family stuff. He's also been going ham over at his house. He's got like a full-on garden, and every day he's just out on his tractor doing stuff around the property. So we just have other things to focus on this year, and we feel like this was the year to do the break given those circumstances. And we want to make you guys miss it, dude. Like, felt like once we got to that third year, people just kind of got used to it, and we're like, well, we'll just come back next year. And it's like, what if there is no next year? We've been telling you guys the same thing since the beginning. In order for that to work, everybody has to be a part of it and has to show up and show their support. It's no like, well, I'll just get to it next time. I'll just get to it next time. I'll just do it next time. There'll always be another time. We don't want it to be like that. I want you guys to know that it could disappear at any point, because we don't need to do Palefest. We do Palefest because we love it, and we do Palefest because it's fun, and we do Palefest because it's what the hobby needs. But if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it, and it'll only work if we have everybody's support. So again, last year was successful. It was the first profitable year that we've had, and it was definitely the most legit and official. Like, everything just worked way too well, way too smoothly. Turnout was great, but yeah, we want people to miss it. We want to come back next year and just blow the doors off of every other Palefest that we've ever had. So no Palefest 2025. Hopefully we'll be back 2026. And will it eventually outgrow Chillicothe? I'll be honest, it already did. I don't know how that's going to work out. I guess just stick around to find out for the next Palefest. But it definitely outgrew Chillicothe. We're kind of past that now. Next question is from Ethan Morrow. Morrow? Do you think The Good Life will make its return, maybe as exclusive content? No. Plain and simple, I tried 2 times to get that series off of the ground, and even though the last time was successful, I would say, it just is something that relies too much on other people, and no one is reliable. I cannot think of a single person that is legitimately as reliable as I would need them to be for that series to work. And it sucks because I'm not even like friends with the people that I was friends with while we shot those episodes. And I feel like certain individuals were very, very important and very vital to making that series work. I know it was called The Good Life, which insinuates that it's like my show. And I guess technically it was, but man, like MASH was the funniest person ever. And it should have been called Mash's Life, with as funny as he was and as like important of a character as he was. And he's just not reliable. He never has been. I love the guy to death, but it just is what it is. It had its time. I tried. But when it comes to something that involves other people, I think that's why my stuff that's just mine works so well, is because I only have myself to rely on, and I don't have to worry about anybody else letting me down, which is a constant in my life. Everybody around me lets me down all the time. And yeah, that's not to like rag on anybody, but something like that is not going to work with people that aren't as serious about it as you are. And unfortunately, nobody else was as serious as me. I don't know if they just didn't see the potential, but I really do think that we could all be millionaires at this point had we just buckled down and done that the way that it was supposed to be. So yeah, even if we brought it back, it just wouldn't be the same. Steven Stanek, what is your history of BMX and what is your dream BMX? This is a good question. I actually like this question a lot. Kind of dives into a different part of AJ Good and who I am. My history with BMX is when I was 4, I think, my grandpa took the training wheels off of my GT dyno. And I was pissed. I was so mad because I didn't want to learn how to ride a bike. I just thought that I should automatically be good at it or whatever. So I was just mad about it and was like, F this. And then I think when I was 5 or 6, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out and I had a Nintendo and I got the game. So then I was just obsessed with skateboarding, and I had like a rinky-dink little Walmart skateboard that I'd gotten for a birthday or something, and I started skating. Well, once I was like into skating, I was all into the X Games. And once I was into the X Games, I realized that I actually liked watching the BMX competitions more than I liked watching the skateboard competitions. So then I was like getting obsessed with Dave Mera and Ryan Nyquist, and I just thought BMX was the coolest thing ever. So I somehow in there, I learned how to ride my bicycle the right way, and it was just instant, dude. I was like jumping shit, building jumps, going down hills, all the cool little like, you know what dudes do when they're little kids. And then eventually for Christmas, my parents let me choose my first real BMX bike. It was a Haro Back Trail. It was Nyquist's signature bike. It was a 16-inch, and I remember the two colorways that they had was black and yellow. And I'm glad that they let me choose because I picked the yellow one, and they were like, "You want the yellow one?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's freaking sick, dude. Like, who has a yellow bicycle?" And they were like, "Okay, whatever." And then they had it on layaway for however long, and then Christmas morning one year, I got my Haro Back Trail. And the rest is history, dude. I stayed with BMX. I still ride. Not as good, but yeah, I was very serious about it there for a long time. I loved riding. And what is your dream BMX? My dream BMX would be an original Haro Mira 540. I don't even care what color, preferably like the sparkly red or the white with the like the knee saver bars, all four pegs, the white wheel, the white wall wheels. Dude, those bikes were just so sick. The black and white Haro seat, front and rear brakes, literally just the perfect BMX bike. They looked so cool. They looked so much different than everybody else's. I just really, really loved the way that those looked, and I've been obsessed with them forever. And eventually, if I ever start to make real money, I will have one just as a museum piece. Man, I would love that. Those are the Cadillac of bicycles, BMX bikes. Sorry, my mouth's getting dry. Let me wet my whistle real quick. A little DP right there on camera. Steven, thank you for the question. That was a good one. Next up, U.S. bands Suck These Nuts. If you could own one stage-used piece from each original member, what would it be? This is one of the only Slipknot questions I took because I thought that it was cool. Sid, I would do the C3 for sure. It's my favorite looking mask he ever wore, and the fact that he wore it for 2 album cycles, both of them being the best 2 album cycles, and the fact that it was worn for Tattoo the Earth, which is my favorite, like, very specific time period for Slipknot, is rad. So the C3, bump nose, I love the strapping on that. I love the face paints he did under it. It was worn for Tattoo the Earth. It was a self-titled and Iowa mask. Perfect. Joey, same exact thing. I would do the Kerrang Awards / Gods of Metal mask because, again, it's just the best looking mask in my opinion. Best looking mask. It's just so perfect, dude. I love that mask. It's like feminine, but get out of here. Flies, man. They drive me insane. Worn for both cool record cycles, self-titled and Iowa, and again, worn on Tattoo the Earth. Iconic. I think it's perfect. I know everybody thinks that the Stitch Mouth is like the quintessential Joey mask, but I think that the Kerrang Awards Joey there's just no touching that thing. It's so good. Paul, I would do the self-titled Pig. Just very nostalgic mask for me. It's when I discovered Slipknot. I still think that's his best mask. And I was always kind of sad that he didn't explore the Pig aspect more than the jumping to the Hannibal Lecter style. I just kind of wonder what his 25th anniversary mask would have been, like a throwback mask or whatever. I had a feeling that I was going to skip over a member, and wouldn't you know it, I just sat down to edit this video, and it turns out that I skipped Chris. Oh my God, how could I? I'm never going to forgive myself for this. Chris, I am so sorry. And just real quick, my Chris pick would be the late self-titled Liar conversion from the self-titled era, obviously. And all the other masks on this list, for the most part, are because they are my favorite of that person's mask. But with my Chris pick, it actually isn't that. My favorite Chris mask is the Spit It Out Liar conversion, but I am picking the late self-titled Chris because I feel like it's more iconic, and I also feel like it has a lot more history. The Spit It Out Liar did not get used a lot at all, And aside from the fact that the self-titled lyre got used for the entirety of the self-titled record cycle, it also got used for the entirety of the Iowa record cycle. That was the same exact mask. So it has a lot of use, a lot of abuse, a lot of love inside of it, a lot of history, and I do feel like it peaked as far as the way that it looked during the late self-titled cycle. So around Dynamo, Gods of Metal, when it started to kind of tan out and get really dirty and just start showing a lot of wear and tear. I really, really like that. So there's my pick. Really sorry that I left Chris out. Can't believe I did that. Crazy that I'm human. Wild. Anyways, back to the video. Jim, I would do... Man... I would probably do the Silver Iowa, and then I would put the Ozfest Jester right behind it. But the only reason that I think that I'm saying that for sure is because those Jesters just rot so fast. So I know that his Ozfest Jester definitely doesn't even exist anymore. But the silver one I think does still exist. So I would gladly take that any day and just give it the best forever home it ever had. I love that mask. I remember going to the Dairy Mart when I was a kid. We were washing clothes at a laundromat that was right in front of the Dairy Mart, and we went in, and I always looked at the magazines to see like Slipknot or Limp Bizkit or whatever, and there was a guitar magazine that had Mick and Jim on the cover, and Jim was in the silver Iowa with crazy bleached hair. It was all like different color, and then on the inside there was a 2-page poster that you could pull out, and it had Jim up against some bleachers, and dude, sick as shit ever. Just one of those things that will forever be ingrained in my brain and quite literally change my life. So I think I'm going to go with the silver one for Jim. Craig, I would do the self-titled, obviously. That is the quintessential Slipknot mask, not only in the fact that it's very identifiable, like it's the spike head guy, you know? Like normie people that don't even listen to Slipknot know that there's a guy with spikes, but also because it was like the epitome of what made those OG masks cool. For some reason, even in like Buckethead, Mushroomhead, Bungle, whatever it may be, those old bands from the 90s that were using props and masks and stuff, they just happened to grab what would end up becoming the rarest things. 83 Caesars, Forms Novelties Jesters, Vintage West German Clowns, Dummies, Ghost Glows, like all this stuff eventually became rare for whatever reason. Even though there's stuff that was mass-produced back then that's still being mass-produced today, it's like the stuff that they just gravitated towards all ended up becoming rare. And the fact that every single piece of the Craig mask is rare, the helmet is rare. It's a very specific youth helmet. You can find adults all day, but the youths are really hard to find. The MBUs, specifically the black ones with a nose cup, super, super rare. Sierra, even rarer. The nails, weird off-sized German galvanized roofing nails, not something that you'll find in America. It's crazy. And he threw all of those together and just created this weird, like, what am I looking at and how does it make so much sense? Why does it make so much sense piece? Quintessential Slipknot mask, in my opinion. And it's like a top 5 mask for me, for sure. Clown, I would go... Oh, man, it's a toss-up between the original dude, because that is the mask, or the bald Tattoo the Earth, because that's my favorite looking mask. Luckily, I do have one of my all-time favorite clown masks, because right after the dude, right after the Tattoo the Earth, is the female, transparent, smiling, all hope is gone clown mask, and I own one of the real ones, the original real one, the first one that he wore. So I feel very honored and lucky to have that, but I would definitely go with... let's just say that it's a tie between the original Vintage West G and the bald TTE. And then what we got, Mick, self-titled or Iowa, I guess. And then Corey, what would I do? I'll get Corey's, I guess I would get the Ghost Glow because it's never going to rot. And as much as I liked the dummy over the Ghost Glow, I do think that the Ghost Glow is Corey's quintessential Slipknot mask. I think that it was just gross and ugly. You could never really tell what you were looking at. The holes didn't line up to the eye, like his eyes or his mouth, and it just looked grody and gross. And obviously, he wore it for my favorite time in Slipknot as well. So I think that's everybody. Did I do everybody? I think I did. Bryson's Horror Room. How do you push through all the bad and negative things that happen to you? Dude, I don't know. There needs to be a study done on me, especially with the last like year or so of my luck. I went from just like the kick out move thing being like the worst time of my life to getting out here and finding this crazy level of peace to right back into that being disrupted by every negative possible thing. And I do think that anybody else would have probably done something drastic and not very good at this point. And here I am just waiting for it to get better. I do believe that I'm a good person. You know, I've never like stolen from someone. I've never abused someone. I don't lie. I don't do drugs or alcohol. I try to spread a good message. I don't even watch porn. You know, so I'm trying to figure out how to say this without sounding like I'm just sucking myself off, but I think I'm a good person. I spread positive messages. I do charitable things. I am a staple for my community, and I'm waiting for all of that to come back to me, you know? So in the meantime, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm supposed to do, and that is what I'm doing right now. I'm making videos. I am just trying, you know? So I wish I had the answer, but I really don't, and I just hope that it all catches up with me one day. So Eddie Santana, if you could own a life-size monster truck or my favorite NASCAR car, which one would you drive? Oh, man. Do I take an original Bigfoot and be afraid to break it? Do I take a Gravedigger and just rip? Or do I take a original Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon car and, you know, I'd probably do some laps in that, but for the most part, I would just keep it up and look at it. I don't know. That's a hard one. I'll let you guys pick. If you had to pick for me, original Bigfoot to keep pristine, because I would just be so scared to drive that thing and break something or do irreparable damage. A Gravedigger to thrash, or a Jeff Gordon Rainbow car to do a little bit of both. You know, keep it safe, but have some fun, and also keep it put up as a museum piece. What would you guys pick? Let me know down in the comments. And this weird hypothetical that'll never happen, it will be decided. So, good question, Eddie. And that is it. It looks like those are the ones that I capped, which is pretty good because we're going on 37 minutes of footage here. So I got some editing to do. Yeah, dude, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a fun one. This one felt a lot more different and unique than any of the other Q&As that we've done. And maybe that's because it was patrons only, and that's probably the way that it'll always be from this point on, because it pays to be a patron, dude. I want to give back to the people that give to me. So, yeah, if you're on the fence about signing up for Patreon, please go do so. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys very, very much for watching this video, for being here, for supporting the House of Masks, however it is you choose to do so. Why can't I talk good? However it is you choose to do so. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I love the community that we have. I hope that you guys are ready for some changes on the channel. I hope that you guys will stay loyal and just, you know, keep up to date, keep interested. I know that the content is going to be far, far superior, in my opinion, and a little less stagnant, and I'm very excited for what's around the corner. So I just hope that you guys are there with me through and through. And yeah, dude, that's going to do it for today's video. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks, telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and yes to chasing your dreams. And we will see you guys in the next one.